up guys, Matt here from Chunky's Reviews, here to bring you my review for Doom. Alrighty, now what can I say about Doom? Doom has been around for years. The original came out in 1993 for the PC. I can't really say much about Doom that already hasn't been said. It's one of the most popular shooter franchises of all time. It's one of the most popular franchises of all time as far as gaming goes, and it is a blast. It's always been a blast, and with my experience, I've played Doom probably maybe starting 14 years ago when I was about 7 years old. I picked up Doom 2 for the PC, and I installed it the very next morning after I got it, and I think my parents shit a chicken when they walked in on me cutting down a demon with a chainsaw. I mean, it was some pretty extreme shit for a 7-year-old. But still, all jokes aside, it was always fun, it was always fast-paced, and it was always Doom. That is the best way to describe it. Now, this review is going to be a bit shorter in nature because it's much more simpler. I'm going to really cut this down. I'm going to cut all the fat off, cut all the meat off, and go straight to the point. I'm going to cut up into two sections: single player, multiplayer. Single player is the main part of the game. It's the part that you want to play. If I was a Doom fan, I'd be getting Doom for the single player. I'm going to say that. No spoilers for the multiplayer. I'm just saying single player is where it is at. As far as single player goes, it's Doom. It is Doom. If you like Doom, if you've ever liked Doom, if you've ever liked classic shooters of the late 90s and early 2000s, ranging from Doom to Counter-Strike, I think this is yours. I'm not saying it's as tactical as Counter-Strike, I'm just saying the mechanics are very old school. No ammo down the sights, no sprint button, no reload, none of that. But, you know what? It's not made for you if you're into modern shooters. It's just not. This is a very touching homage to the original Doom, and I think in that it excels. It is one of the most rewarding classic experiences that I've had in modern gaming. That's the best way I can describe it. Now, the other half of Doom, apart from the fun factor and apart from how well it plays and how classic and old school it feels, is actually the performance. It runs extremely well, and I was playing this on the PS4 before the original update, the day one patch that it comes out with. I was experiencing a lot of screen tearing. That was about it. To be honest, it was terrible. It was really noticeable, and it was really ugly, and it was actually putting me off. It was actually a big factor in the review that I would have made if it hadn't been fixed. But the update did fix it, and it runs like a dream. 1080p, 60 frames, blistering pace. It is like, I can't explain how it feels. It feels very floaty. If you're not into classic, if you've never played a classic shooter, it's very fast paced. You literally run at like 40 k's an hour. I mean, you are just running from place to place. You're zipping around. You're not supposed to stop. It is just absolutely frenetic, fast-paced action. And that's another thing as well. The action and the gunplay that kind of merges perfectly with this speed and this pace. It's just fast-paced, and it's just an experience which is just based around fun. And the mechanics are really solid. The shooting, like I said, is just it is just over the top, but it's supposed to be. It's over the top, and it's not supposed to really bring any realism into it. It's just for fun, and it is absolutely masterful at that. I think that these mechanics are some of the best shooting mechanics that have been implemented to a game in years, simply because they just work for what they are. You know, the game doesn't make any promises to be anything more than you expect, and that is just perfect. It promises you one thing, and it gives you exactly that in spades. Now, the other thing is there are a couple negatives. Now, they're not too much. I don't take away too much from the game, but the game tries to add some platforming sections and some sections where you're going to you got to scale up certain areas of the map, and it's just really tedious, and I don't think it really works well. It's a really drastic change of pace from the actual shooting and action part of it, because it's just so left field. And I think it tries to spice it up with a bit of variety, but I just think it just slows the game down unnecessarily, and the action doesn't really it doesn't really need to give you a break. It's not meant to give you a break. It's meant to be just absolutely in your face, balls to the wall. And I think the platforming is just such a drastic change from that. So yeah, I think if the game was without those, platforming sections, I'm not saying the platforming itself, I'm just saying the specific sections where you literally got to climb with no enemies, no enemy encounters for about a good 20 to 30 minutes. And it just takes away from the pace of the game. It really takes you out of it. But that's another thing. The maps themselves are much larger. They're much larger in scale. Obviously, they're verticals, a lot of verticality, as I mentioned with the platforming. But the good thing is it still feels very Doom. I think it's just Doom for the next generation, and this is exactly what it should look like. This is everything that it would, should, could be. I think it's everything that I would have imagined a next-gen Doom to be like. and in that sense, it's a positive. I can't really say anything bad about the maps themselves. They're very expansive. There's a lot of secrets. There's a lot of areas to explore. And you know what? It just makes for some good fun in general. I think the arenas where the enemies are well placed, there's a lot of room to run around, a lot of verticality there as well. And it just makes for some exciting action. That's all I can say about it. And to sum it up, Doom is just fun. This is made for classic shooter fans. It's made for fans of Doom, fans of, even if you played the original Wolfenstein, if you even played Wolfenstein The New Order or the Old Blood on the new consoles, I think you'll enjoy this as well. I think it's just over-the-top action. I think it's made purely for fun. I think I don't want to touch too much on story. I think the story in itself is a spoiler, if that makes sense. But it is, in that sense, is very basic. Because there's not much story to explore, I want to be able to let you explore the story, you know what I mean? And just kind of find out what's going on. Because there is a nice little twist in there, and I think it's worth checking out from that point of view. As far as the single player goes, guys, it is the main part of the game. Get it for the single player. Enjoy the single player if you enjoy Doom. You can't go wrong, really. It's just a lot of fun. And even the gameplay, there's a lot of upgrades, and like I said, the upgrades... Another thing I forgot to mention is the actual upgrades for the guns. Every gun pretty much has an upgrade of two sorts, and it is really cool. It fits... It's different. It's something that I haven't seen in Doom before, but it's really... it's a welcome change. It's good. The guns feel customizable to an extent, but they feel very... natural in the way that they are customized. The progression feels very natural. It's not in your face, and it's really it's left to to your own devices. When you want to customize, you can anytime in the menu, which is really good. But at the same time, the customization adds a lot of variety to the gunplay as well, which is always welcome. I think I've covered everything. I think the story is just pure fun, pure balls to the wall action. You can't go wrong. The other hand of things is the multiplayer. Now, before I sound like I'm going to shit all over this multiplayer, I'm really not. I think the multiplayer is functional. I think it takes a lot of the flavor from Doom. I think the maps are actually quite good. I think the pace is held up, but I can't explain the difference in the two modes. I just think that the multiplayer borrows too much from modern shooters, and in that sense, I can't even really explain how. It's such a weird feeling. The pace is really quick, but the gunplay is really sluggish. And what I mean is, you're putting, 6 to 7 rockets from a rocket launcher into someone, and another, just for them to die, pretty much. And another issue was the servers. I couldn't get any good connections for a server. I played about 30 to 40 games in total before this review. I really didn't want to. I didn't really want to shit on it for kind of just server issues alone, but like I said, I couldn't get around to a good server. I got around to a half server, half-ass server, and it did improve things a little bit, but the pace is considerably slowed down from the single player, and I just feel like, not that it's tacked on, but I just feel like it could have been adjusted more to feel like the single player. In that sense, there is still customization options. They're pretty deep. Every gun has, customizable options. The characters have customizable options. There are a lot of cool modes which you can explore. You go traditional team deathmatch and stuff like that, but there are some cool, modes that involve, demons and stuff. The power-ups are pretty cool as well, by the way. They take a lot of the flavor from Doom, like I said, but just the general feeling, it takes a lot more from modern shooters than I'd like to admit. And I don't know if that's something they had to do or something they chose to do, but at the same time, it doesn't really mix well. It's a perfectly average multiplayer. But if you're really looking for something with a different flavor, I'd say check out maybe a third-person multiplayer like Uncharted, or even just go to the original, kind of CODs and Battlefields and stuff. Because you know what? While people shit on those games, they do multiplayer well. To sum it all up, guys, single player, one of the most fun experiences I've had in a long time. Just balls to the wall action, general fun, can't complain with anything there. The multiplayer, pretty average and standard, but also functional. So guys, if you're a Doom fan, go out there, pick this one up. It is more than worth your time. If you're an old school shooter fan, you can't go wrong. If you're a modern shooter fan, I'd say be hesitant. Check out some reviews elsewhere. Check out some gameplay trailers. Check out the pace of the game. See how you feel about it, and give it a try. I don't think this is a bad game by any means, and it's definitely worth checking out. Once again, guys, thank you very much for watching Chunky's Reviews. I'm Matt, and I'll see you soon. What's up? Fuck my life. Fuck it into hell. Fuck it into hell. Fuck it to hell. You're watching bloopers here, and I can't fucking get this video to look fucking good. Son of a fucking bitchaman. Okay,